Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to share to you a Bible story. The title of this story is about two naughty boys. After all that happened that day in front of the tabernacle, when Aaron and his son were consecrated to the priesthood, you should surely think that those four boys would be the last ones in the camp to get into trouble. Had not Moses himself washed them in front of everybody? Had not he put on them those beautiful clean clothes? Had not they all laid their hands upon the bullock and the two rams confessing their sins? Had not blood been placed on their ears, their right thumbs, and their right toes? Yes, indeed. And they couldn't have gone through all this without knowing what I meant. And if they forgot, even for a moment, every time they looked at their father, there were the words, Holiness to the Lord. They knew all right. They understood. Moses couldn't have made it more plain that God wanted them to be the best young people in the camp, an example to all the boys and girls who had come out of Egypt. To Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar was given a very wonderful opportunity. The more you think about it, the more you will see how big it really was and how much God expected of them. They were to be the spiritual leaders of the youth of Israel, young men of such spotless character and noble living that all the boys and girls would look up to them and want to follow in their footsteps. And what they do? Two of them got drunk right after the ceremony of consecration, too, or within a few days of it. Where they found the drink, I do not know. Somebody in the camp may have had a wine press, but where did they get the grapes? Somebody may have had a whiskey still, but where did they get the grain? Perhaps the liquor had been brought out of Egypt by one of the mixed multitude, but one hardly likes to think it was smuggled through the Red Sea on the night of the great deliverance. All we know for certain is that there was alcohol of some kind in the camp, and Nadab and Abihu drank of it. They should have known better. Of all the people, they should never have done any such thing. For anyone else, it would have been a serious mistake, but for them, who had been set apart as ministers of God, it was a terrible sin. It could have been that these two boys did not care very much about being chosen to work in the sanctuary. Perhaps they didn't want to be priests at all. Maybe they went through all the long consecration ceremony just because their father and uncle told them to. Certainly, the washing Moses gave them did not cleanse their hearts, nor did the blood on their toes keep them from walking to a place where drink was sold. But the sin of drinking was as nothing to the crime that the drink made them commit. Under the influence of liquor, they made fun of their sacred duties. Jokingly, they asked each other why they had to light their censers in the golden altar of incense in the tabernacle. Why couldn't they light them any way they pleased? What difference would it make if they put fire in their censers themselves? So Nadab and Abihu, the son of Aaron, took either of them his censer and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. The two boys may even have walked unsteadily through the tabernacle, swinging their censers irreverently, with no thought of the sacred meaning of what they were supposed to be doing. We will never know exactly what they did, but God was very displeased with them. Not only had they disobeyed Him, but they had made light of holy, sacred things. Though He had trusted and honored them above all the young people in the camp, they had failed Him. For such a deed, they had to be punished. God could not let disobedience and insolence of this sort go by unrebuked. And so it happened that, as Nadab and Abihu were staggering around the tabernacle with strange fire in their censers, there came a flash of light from the mercy seat, where now no mercy was possible, and the poor, foolish boys were suddenly burned to death. And there went out fire from the Lord and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. The shocking news soon spread through the camp. People were stunned to think that two of those who had just been consecrated to the priesthood should so soon have proved unfaithful. Because they were Aaron's sons, everybody expected there would be a big funeral, but there was none. Moses would not allow it. Instead, he told two old men to carry the bodies out of the camp and bury them. There was to be a mourning for two such naughty boys. Even Aaron was told he must not weep for them. It must have seemed very hard to Aaron. Not only had he lost two of his sons, but he was not allowed to carry over them, as any father would want to do. Then it was that the Lord spoke to him and said, "Do not drink wine nor strong drink, thou, nor thy sons with thee, when you go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, and that ye may put difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean." Now Aaron understood. Drink had robbed him of his sons. Drink had confused their brains so they couldn't see any difference between the holy and the unholy. Drink had led them into this awful folly and brought upon them the swift judgment of God. This is the story about the two naughty boys. Aaron, assisted by his four sons, was ordained high priest to serve the people of God in their journey toward the promised land. His wonderful garments was most glorious to behold. This is the end of the story.